Hello food lovers and welcome back to the French Cooking Academy. Today we're looking at a very important chapter, which is learning how to make choux pastry. It's an amazingly versatile product. It's easy to make, it's delicious. You can make profiteroles, you can make éclairs, you can make religieuses. There's a million recipes that you can use with that pastry. So it is very, very important. So today we're going to look at how to make the real French choux pastry step by step. Okay, so let's start our choux pastry. Very, very easy recipe. I'm using the same rounded sauté pan. I put my heat on small to medium, and the first thing you're going to do is simply put your water with your sugar, a pinch of salt, as I said before, but really be careful, don't put much salt because you don't want a salty flavor. And you take then your butter and you put everything in. It's that simple. Once the mix is in, we're going to virtually wait until it boils to make sure that we have an emulsion of all the ingredients, so mainly the butter, mixed with the sugar and salt and water to make a nice blended mix. A few minutes later, as you can see, my mix is starting to boil, and this is how it should look like. You can see you get a kind of a yellowish, watery mix. At this stage, what you want to do is to leave it to boil for just a few minutes. Let's say you can do like 2 or 3 minutes. There's no precise. Don't leave it 10 minutes to boil, just a few minutes. Okay, as I just said, this has been boiling for about 2 or 3 minutes. So what I'm doing, I'm putting my heat totally off. At this stage, I'm just gonna stir a little bit. And the next step is extremely simple. You take your flour and you put everything in. I mean, there's nothing more simple than that. So there's no heat under the pan, remember this. Huh? Use always a wooden spatula. And as you can see here, immediately your mix is going to thicken and you have your base. How easy is this? You see? Magical. Look at this beauty. Okay. This is what you should have. You should do something else. Let me try to get close to the camera. So it's nice. It's not liquid. You can see the consistency. It's like a nice paste, a bit like a crème pâtissière, but a bit like a dough. And there is a last step in that preparation we need to do is to dry the mix. So you put your fire back on, or your heat, you put your pan on, and this is a very short and quick process. So we're just going to roll our dough in our pan until we lose all the watery aspect or that kind of humidity, so that stickiness. That's what you want to get rid of. You want to get rid of that stickiness. You don't want to burn anything. You don't want to color anything. You just want to remove some of the excess of water that's contained into your dough. And as you can see, when you do this, because there is butter inside, you start to get a very, very clean mix. And that's it. Step number 1 is finished. How easy is that? Now, if you want to do things properly, your last step, as per our school book, usually when the mix is done, you put it in another cold container to make sure the temperature in your mix goes down a little bit so that when we add the egg yolks, it's not going to cook the egg yolk. Okay? That's it. All right, people, we're all set for our second and last step of our choux pastry making. You see how amazing this is. So as you can see, I've got all my setup here. I've got my food processor, as I explained in a previous video. Now, our last step consists of mixing the eggs into our choux pastry base. Extremely simple. If you want to do it by hand, you can. You have to know that it's a bit strenuous because it gets very, very tough when you turn. And also, to get the right consistency can be a bit of a tough challenge. So, let's see this into practice. Very first step, I'm taking my mix, I'm putting everything in there. Very simple. So I make sure it's everywhere. And I'm starting with my 2 eggs. Very simple. I'm gonna cover my processor. I'm using a pulse function, and I start gently by doing a few pulses. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this egg and I'm gonna beat it. Because I'm not gonna add the whole egg at once, because if there's too much liquid, then it's gonna fail. So I'm gonna add a little bit, like half of the egg to start with, and give it a whiz. Okay, now, as you can see here, it's nice and firm, and when you take it in your fingers like that, this is what you want to have. You see, it's going to separate. And you see this? Both of the points are staying straight up. They're not falling. It means it lacks a bit of moisture. Taking the rest of my egg. And as you can see, it doesn't look like much, but trust me, that can be the difference between success and failure. Alright, let's check again. Second test. Take a little bit of dough. You can do it on your spoon. Doesn't have to be totally perfect, but... you see? The point is falling, meaning it's done. So at this stage, your mix is done, and we're gonna take it out and put it in a piping bag. Okay guys, so ready for our third and final step, which is putting our mix into a piping bag. So I've reserved my mix, I've got a spatula here ready. I'm using a tissue reusable piping bag with a plastic end. The diameter you should be using for choux and eclairs should be anything from 1 centimeter up to maximum 2 centimeter in diameter. So don't use a tiny end. You can use non-reusable plastic ones if you want, it doesn't matter. How to use a piping bag? Well, we had it on our book. It says that you should put your hand on there, and the cover should kind of cover your hand to avoid that you make a mess. I'm not an expert at this. I don't do it very often, so don't blame me if things go wrong. But basically, it's just a matter of taking some of the paste and put it as deep as you can into the bag. Okay. So you repeat the process over and over again until you're done. Okay, I'm done with the bag. I'm gonna try to go ahead and lay down the choux. So you squeeze here, you turn a little bit, and as you can see, the pastry goes, and you try to make some decent size choux, okay? Yeah, I'm hoping not too much in front of the camera. So not too big, not too small, and I've got my markers, so I know what I'm doing, okay? And I'm gonna try to make some eclairs, which would be the elongated pastry. And I don't think I will have too much space for more. Before you put your choux and eclair in the oven, you take a fork, a little bit of water on your fork, and you're gonna make just a little shape like this, like a square, on top of your choux to control the top and make sure they don't end up like pointy, like a little towers. Next, we're gonna apply some egg on top to make it nice and shiny, nice and golden in the oven. You take a paintbrush with a full egg that you mix, and you don't put too much, so remove the excess and you only go, it's like making a painting, so be careful. Same things for the eclair. One little brush, don't overdo it. Make sure it's covered in egg. Okay, fair enough. Done. And now it's ready to go in the oven. Okay, I forgot to mention, but before you lay down your choux, preheat your oven at 200 degrees Celsius. All right? And we're gonna leave these for approximately maybe 15 minutes or so. And that's it, guys, well done. If you follow that video, we've completed our choux pastry and we've created some eclairs, as you can see here, of different size. So we've got the bigger one, the smaller one, and some really near perfect kind of choux that you can use for profiterole. You can use it and fill them with cream. You can fill them with crème pâtissière, and you can add some icing on top. Now, this will be another subject on another video. For this video, you need to concentrate on how to get this right and how to make this choux, because they're the building block of a lot of French dessert. Now, that's it for today, guys. If you like the video, please comment, like, or subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye-bye.